On to John Cena. On Raw, he was faced with an app vote that spelled dire consequences for him. The main event of Raw would feature him facing off against at least one member of the Wyatt family, with the question remaining exactly how many of them the match would feature. Turns out the WWE Universe voted for Cena to face all three members of the Wyatt family in a handicap match. Cena looked to rise above the circumstance, but he eventually succumbed to the numbers game. The show ended with Bray Wyatt cradling Cena and leading the audience in a classic rendition of "He's got the whole world in his hands." Apparently Bray has the world, but does he also have Cena's number?
This was great. I mean, you have Bray Wyatt out there doing Bray Wyatt things, cutting phenomenal promos, one of his best that he's cut so far. And to me, the vote itself sends a statement to WWE about the state of what John Cena is at this point. Like, it felt like, and you can see it on his face, Cena was at that point realizing 10 plus years of Cena
I thought the same thing.
All in one vote. It was, you could, like, you almost felt sorry for the guy, seeing the expression on his face. Well, I mean, any fair-minded individual would, take a little bit of pity on him, but I digress.
Hey.
Whoa, that was gimmick infringement. I apologize. But anyway, it was great booking from top to bottom. They're doing a really good job of taking Cena and taking his momentum, I guess, his stature as a superstar within WWE, and transferring it and putting it on Bray Wyatt to help bring him up as a credible threat. So we're looking forward to seeing what they'll do in the cage. At this point, Bray Wyatt has the upper hand, which is always great to see. I'll be a little nitpicky here and complain that Cena won the match by DQ, which is kind of bullshit, because since when are we just DQing people for random partner run-ins? But whatever. That's kind of a minor thing. Yeah, Bray is Bray. I know I've said it a lot, but he's just phenomenal, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they have for him coming up.
You could have had John Cena take a dump in the ring, which he kind of did, because that match sucked. I fell asleep, actually. But it could have been the worst match of all time, and it wouldn't matter, because I was able to cast my vote to have this man get sent to the wolves. That is the year. It wasn't 10 years of frustration for me. It was more of, I'd say his character sucked by 08.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Are you serious?
It's not been.
Well, I'll say 2 months of frustration for David then.
Technically 2009. And actually, I only started cheering.
WrestleMania 29.
Anyway, before I was, this guy sucked since like 2009. And just being able to have him get sent to the wolves and get his ass kicked, that was awesome. So I don't care what happened afterwards, as long as he got he got the crap beat out of him by 3 guys. Perfect.
It could just be that Bray Wyatt was in the handicap match, and that's
nobody's buying the argument. Nobody's buying it.
I mean, if you really think about it, but in all seriousness, Wade Wright's promo earlier was good. He always has great promos. It's never going to have a bad one. If the day he has a bad one, I don't know, I'll do something. I'll have to figure it out. It's never going to happen, though, so I don't need to care. But the thing is, I may be just this person, or I may only be the only one here, but I'm kind of getting bored of Bray Wyatt and this whole feud and just the whole thing in general. Like, he keeps singing the same song. He's pretty much saying the same stuff all the time, keeps changing it, but it's practically the same stuff. Cena's doing the same stuff. Like, this feud needs to end. Like, it's just, I'm really bored, and I don't care, like, at all. But with that said, let's see what they can do in a cage match. But overall, let's just get this over with, move on, make Bray Wyatt do other things, because he's boring me now, and that's not a good sign. So, let's do something.
Telling this type of story that capitalizes off of the mixed reaction Cena gets has been attempted before, but it's never been as effective as it is now, and that's for 2 reasons. 1, Bray is a perfect person to capitalize off of it. It provides a compelling storyline for Cena, while at the very same time, it continues to build up who Bray is. And this is one of those rare cases that I don't care that the audience is supporting a heel, because it plays into the story. He's a cult leader that has this amazing way with words, and the promo he cut on Raw was one of his best yet, and that's saying a whole hell of a lot. Great line when he was like, as far as the fans go, he was talking to Cena and he was like, they don't love you anymore. And every time we cross paths, John, I take more of them with me. So the narrative is being defined to make it seem as if Bray is brainwashing people to be anti-Cena. And the other reason why this is working is because WWE is fully committed to the idea. They consciously placed Cena in a situation where the WWE Universe would decide his fate, and they ultimately chose the worst option available. And one of the reasons they're committed to the idea is because of people like Bray Wyatt. WWE is becoming more of the ensemble it should have always been instead of the John Cena show. We're at a point right now where they can tell risky stories like this without the thought of the company falling apart if Cena isn't this almighty power. And that makes his opponents more interesting in the way that they interact with him, and it even benefits him because I'm interested to see how he responds to the situation. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Brandon. I think this is fucking amazing with what they're doing with John Cena, because they're finally tapping into that mixed reaction that he's getting, and it's resulted in some good stuff.
It just feels like the same stuff every week, though. That's just my problem. That's why I'm bored. Like, I understand what they're doing. It's just they're boring me, and I don't like that. I want to be invested.
It's probably the same theme overall, but each week he's stacking layer on top of layer on top of layer as far as delving deeper into the topic and bringing it forward more.
I mean, I guess, but it's just I'm bored. I mean, I can't help it. It's not my fault. Well, it's not their fault. It's not their fault either. Technically, it is my fault. So I'll stick with that because they're not doing anything wrong. I understand that. It's just I'm bored watching it. More, I just don't care about what they're doing. Is really what it is.
Yeah, and who says John Cena can't act? Just look at him on Raw, acting like he gave a fuck about that vote. Like, I'm pretty sure the checks and that $100 million he makes for WWE every year, he's like, oh, yeah, this is absolutely terrible.
Why do you think that everybody's all about the money?
Because the reason why I mention that is because people act as if the booze that John Cena gets is all that they hear. And people try to find some kind of way at every single instance that they possibly can to make the fact that people don't like John Cena news. Obviously, with the amount of money that he makes WWE, somebody likes his ass. Somebody likes his ass to a great deal.
And there are people that booed when Bray Wyatt said that nobody likes you. Granted, they were under 12, but still.
I'm just trying to make sure that we have an even playing field here, and that's just one of the ways that I can communicate my message, that while people dislike John Cena, he does have his supporters out there, so much so to the point that they've had him and they've kept him at that top spot in WWE for the better part of a decade. But the fact that those people who don't like him are being acknowledged and it's actually being worked into the storyline is something good. I like that.
Cena sucks. Next segment.
He's more entertaining than Total Divas.
That's true, actually.
And he's definitely an athlete.
Finally, someone who's catching along to my game. And that fisherman suplex, by the way. Terrible.
He's making it his own, damn it.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think we kind of did something about that, but I digress.